All right, and welcome to episode 5 of my What is HITMAN Roulette series. Today we're going to be talking about Bangkok, and man, is this an interesting map, I gotta say right off the bat. As far as the community is concerned, this map is pretty ridiculous in a lot of ways. It's quite challenging. It's by far, in my opinion at least, the hardest two-target map in the entire trilogy. A lot of people can argue that the Isle of Scale is, but I beg to differ. Bangkok has a lot of issues, namely the cameras being a huge thing. Cameras in this map are friggin' everywhere, so as far as roulette is concerned, it can be a pretty huge nightmare to try to get around everything, isolate the targets, get all the disguises you need, and then in the meantime you're trying to dodge all these friggin' cameras all over the hotel. And there are ridiculous amounts of cameras in this hotel. So with that little detail in mind, I'm actually going to be telling you how to deal with the cameras a little bit later in the video. I'm going to add that as like a little extension, even though it's never really been part of the series before. It probably won't continue to be part of the series after. It's going to be specific for this map because the cameras in Bangkok are such a big deal that you're going to need to know how to deal with them. And they're not exactly free to deal with either. Like, you can pretty much deal with the cameras any way you like in any other map of the entire trilogy. In Bangkok, you have one camera box, and it's behind a locked door that is only accessible with a key card, and the room that the camera box is in is a trespassing zone for every disguise in the map except for hotel security. So there's a lot of bullshit that goes into dealing with the cameras in this map, so I will be adding a little mini tutorial at the end of the target isolations dictating how to go about dealing with them. Bangkok is an incredibly interesting map for me, though. I think as far as roulette is concerned in general, this is my favorite two-target map. I'm usually a big fan of the bigger maps, the ones that have 3 or more targets per map. There are 5 maps in the trilogy in total that have more than 2 targets, and I like to call those ones the Big 5. But Bangkok is like a Big 5 map. It has a lot of characteristics like a Big 5 map. There are so many different types of isolations you can do for both the targets. There aren't that many disguises, though, so it's kind of a trade-off in that sense. The map does seem absolutely daunting when you first jump into it for roulettes. It gets easier as you get better at the map, as do most things in life, but specifically talking Bangkok here, this is a doozy of a map. It's intimidating, but I love it so much. It's truly grown on me as of recently, and I'm excited to be doing this video because there's a lot of cool stuff to cover here. So, without further ado, let's head on into the starting locations and the target isolations. So with Bangkok, every single starting location is viable. There are no real weak starting locations. There are ones you'll probably be using more often than the others, like 47 Suite is a definite top tier starting location. It's one that I recommend using more often than really any other starting location, but depending on the spin and what is the most viable method to go about doing the spin, you are going to be utilizing every single starting location that this map has to offer. So it's got a lot going for it in that sense. There are no bad starting spots, so where Paris had half its starting locations be obsolete, Sapienza had the ruins, even Marrakesh to some extent had the handyman start, which is kind of whatever, but still viable. Bangkok, 100%, every starting location is a good choice, so it's all up to you. As far as target isolations go, you have so many options here with this map. Considering it's only a 2-target map, I'm really impressed with how many choices the map allows the player to have. We're going to start off with Jordan Cross's isolations. The peekaboo here is super important to know. You need to know exactly how to do this peekaboo here for Jordan's isolation on the balcony to work, or if you want to get him in the bathroom. So basically you're going to climb this pipe, you're going to get up into this area. Obviously you're going to be trespassing here. You need to be wearing a trespassing disguise for the peekaboo to work, of course, as you should know. You're just going to sit in this exact position here while Jordan is talking to one of the recording crew guys and Dexy Barrett over there. He's going to spot you, and then you're going to head over to the balcony to lure him in that direction. Be careful knocking him out here, as the 2 bodyguards in the corner of the room there will be able to see you do it if you do it out in the open. So you need to make sure to either do a distraction shot for the bodyguards by either shooting the ceiling near them and sending one of the guards upstairs to investigate, and then knocking out Jordan, or knock out Jordan when he's on the balcony. So it really depends on how good you actually lure him over to this area. The bathroom is the exact same strat. You're going to peekaboo him, but you're going to go in the opposite direction. You're going to bring him over to the bathroom. And most of the time, he's not going to walk all the way inside, so you won't be able to KO him just yet. As soon as he loses interest, that's when you're going to cause a throwing distraction. He's going to come investigate that, and then you can just isolate him in the bathroom there and leave him indefinitely. There's nothing to worry about here. No NPCs come in here, and there's a closet right behind you if you want to stash his body in there after the kill later on. This is a great isolation for loud ballistics or loud explosive weapon. There's a really fast Jordan isolation that requires the recording crew start. This isolation is pretty sick. It's kind of confusing how it works because I don't really understand exactly how it works or why it works this way, but it does, so whatever, we're going to use it. You're going to head up into this area right behind the vocal booth here. You're going to cause a throwing distraction, and despite there being 2 recording crew guys standing right beside you talking, Jordan's in the vocal booth. He's further away from the distraction, but for some reason he comes to investigate the distraction. So whatever, it works. Again, let's use it. You're going to chain lure him here into the bathroom like so. Make sure you don't switch throwing items here. If you initially threw a wrench for the first throwing distraction, and then you try to switch to like a briefcase for the chain lure after that, Jordan will then enforce a different recording crew guy to come check out the second throwing distraction, and you'll be screwed and you'll have to restart. So just keep that in mind. If you chain lure him with a wrench, then make sure you throw the wrench again when you do the chain lure. The next isolation that's really good is if you get Jordan a little bit later on down the road when he's upstairs, you can actually seeker him or get him sick somehow up here. There are multiple bathrooms that Jordan can head into depending on where he's standing. If he's standing by the beer bottle over here and talking to Dexy, and you get him sick, say while you're standing in his bedroom, he's actually going to go into his bedroom and isolate himself in there. So this is definitely a great method if you're not able to get Jordan early on in the spin. If you need to get Jordan a little bit later in his cycle, this is the most viable way to do so. And finally, the Exterminator Lure. For this lure, you're going to need the Exterminator disguise, and you're going to need to approach the hotel manager here. Approach her and talk to her, and she's going to make a phone call saying to clear out the top floor of the hotel. At that point, it's just a waiting game. You're just going to be setting up for the isolation that's to come. But it does take a little while for Jordan and everybody to clear out that floor upstairs. So it is a bit of a slower lure, but if you want to mitigate all the extra bullshit that you have that's involved with going upstairs and dealing with all the bullshit upstairs, this is a great way to do so, and this is a very viable lure that it comes up more times than you think. Now for the setup, you're going to require some coins. Now on the floor directly below the top floor of the hotel, there are 4 coins sitting on the ground ready for the taking. They're in the area that's pretty much kitty corner of the room that you'd enter to go see Jordan's cake and put the cake topper on it for whatever kill might come up for that, say Jordan consumed poison or whatever. That's also another viable isolation for Jordan is the cake topper lure, where you just put the cake topper on the cake and then everybody comes down and Jordan isolates himself in the room with Dexy. You can just KO Dexy and then isolate Jordan in there. It's okay, but it's quite slow, so I left it out of this video just because I think there are better ways to go about isolating Jordan, and these are the best ways that I feel you should do it. However, if you want to try the cake topper isolation, that's totally up to you. You're going to place coins here. Right in front of this black mark on the floor, you place the first coin, and the second coin is going to be placed on the railing right behind you. There's a third coin you're going to place on this box down here. And how this works exactly is once everybody's coming down the stairs, you need to hammer on your instinct and just keep note of where Jordan is. Once he's getting close to where you are, you can open the door right in front of the first coin as long as Jordan is the only NPC in the area that's going to be able to see the coin. He's going to see the coin and investigate the situation. He's going to see the second coin on the railing. At that point, you can take the first coin away, let him go for the second coin. When he does, he's going to see the third coin on the box. You can take the second coin away, and he's going to head straight down to the third coin on that box there. KO him right in front of the box. You can leave him there, although he does get found eventually. So what I would recommend is once the isolation is being set up and you've set up all the coins and everything, go get the disguise and the weapon that you need to make the kill, then just dump Jordan in the box right here, and you're good to go. Now for the Ken Morgan isolations, you have potentially 3 isolation methods to choose from. All of them are extremely good. The first one here, all you need to do is bring a seeker and a mixtape or something, some type of distraction device like that that makes sound. You're going to get Otis sick. Otis is Ken Morgan's bodyguard, of course. Before his bodyguard starts walking away to be sick, you're going to plant this mixtape down on this little blue tile here. What you do then is you wait until the NPCs on the other side of this little barricade turn their heads and make comments about how gross Otis is being by being sick right now. You're going to want to trigger the device right as their heads are starting to turn. At that point, Ken is going to move over to the device. He's going to wonder what the hell's going on. And you can just KO him and drag his body into the corner here. You can keep him here for quite some time, although his body will be found eventually, so it's not a permanent isolation. It's definitely one I would use at the end of the spin, right before you go to exit, but it works like a charm, and it's definitely the fastest isolation method, easily over the other 2. There's one roaming NPC that makes a phone call that's by the barricades here. You're going to need to deal with him in some way. I would suggest laying down a couple of weapons. One you can lay down for the groundskeeper on the other side, and then the other guy that's walking around making the phone call, you can put down maybe your mixtape, and then he'll go and report that. That way you can leave Ken's body here even longer. Those are definitely precautions I suggest taking, but they're not 100% necessary. It really depends on where those NPCs happen to be in their cycles. But they are the NPCs that will rip you here, especially the guy making the phone call. So be wary of him, and you should be fine doing this method. The next lure here is very commonly used. It requires a hotel staff disguise. And all you need to do here is, once you're in that disguise, approach Ken from anywhere in his cycle, and you're going to lure him over to the bathroom here downstairs in the hotel. There are a few roaming NPCs that come and go in this area here of this entire bathroom. One NPC comes and takes a piss in the left bathroom, and then there's a kitchen staff guy that comes and goes from the right bathroom. There's also a female NPC that comes in and checks out herself in the mirror for quite some time. So you need to be aware of those three guys specifically. Regardless, once Ken is in the bathroom, you can do a throwing distraction or knock out whatever NPCs you can in this area with whatever means you have. For this example, I used the snail, but you can do it really any way you see fit. Drag Ken's body into the bathroom stalls here, and then drag the other NPCs into separate bathroom stalls as well. Like I said before, there's only one NPC that goes into each bathroom stall, so once either of one of them is KO'd, you no longer have to worry about anybody coming in and finding the bodies. It's a really common method to use this isolation, and it may be the safest of the three, I'd say. The last viable Ken isolation here is the letter. All you need to do to get the letter here is bring a trank with you, and you can just run into this room with these recording crew guys just hanging out and chatting. There's a guy named Neil in here. He's this dude right here. You're going to trank him, you're going to grab the letter as soon as he's KO'd, and then you're going to head down to the front desk and put it on this little plate here. Ken's going to come by later in his cycle and ask if there's any information for him from the front desk. They're going to give him the letter, and at that point he's going to make his way down inside the basement into the linen room and isolate himself in there by making a phone call. Once Ken gets into this room here, you can either choose to KO him and Otis in here, right above the stairs, or you can wait until Ken isolates himself downstairs in the linen room and just KO him there or deal with him any way you see fit. If Ken drowning comes up, for example, in a spin, that's quite a finicky kill for Ken for some reason, just because of the way the NPC himself behaves. So if you do need to drown him, you can secret him here in this room, and from the linen room, he will go straight over to the bathroom downstairs in the basement. This lure, combined with the Exterminator Lure for Jordan, are both perfect to use in tandem with each other. They work in perfect synchronicity, as Jordan will be isolating himself at the same time as Ken isolates himself, and it's definitely super powerful if you are able to see a spin and know straight off the bat that these two strats are the best way to go. You can start isolating both targets and have them both isolate themselves within minutes. And the last thing I'm going to talk about before we go on to disguises is the camera box. Camera box is located in the room, directly below the room where the birthday cake is. There's no way to get inside, like I mentioned earlier, unless you have a key card. Or, if you take one of the aforementioned coins several times in this video, you can place it right in front of the door here. There are roaming NPCs, including a hotel security and a female hotel staff NPC, and either one of them will work for this strat. All you do is you place the coin extremely snug against the door, and then you bump into the NPC and make sure that they see the coin. As soon as they do, they'll come close enough to the doors that the doors open automatically, and they'll take the coin and walk away. Meanwhile, you can go inside, shoot out the camera box, and exit with no issues usually. Just try to be as stealthy as you can about this, and try not to get ripped by getting caught in this room if you happen to be trespassing. So, it can be a pain in the ass, like I said before, but the cameras really aren't too bad once you know what you're doing. So this is the good shit. So, starting right off the bat, we have Abel De Silva. He's the drummer for the band that Jordan sings for. He is located in the lounge directly below where 47th Suite is. So if you start 47th Suite, you climb down this pipe and then you shimmy across this little balcony here. Get on top of the balcony and stand in this position and do a peekaboo lure. Eventually, Abel is going to come around the corner. He's going to see you, lure him into this area here, and then from here you can just knock him out any which way you like. He's never going to be found in this room as no other NPCs come in here as long as no other noise is made. Take his disguise, and you're free to go. The Exterminator disguise is a little bit tricky to get, and it's not exactly practical, but it's one of the better disguises in the map, so it's definitely worth doing. And like I said earlier, there are lures that you can do for the targets that require this disguise, so it's absolutely a very beneficial one to get. Both of the Exterminators are towards the left side of the hotel where Jordan would be roaming around, but on the bottom floor. The first Exterminator is right outside where the stairway is that head down towards the linen room. He's going to be talking to a hotel staff, and there will be a hotel security here as well. You can shoot this camera here, which gets two birds stoned at once, as you'll be sending the hotel security guy upstairs and getting him out of the way indefinitely. and you'll be getting rid of the camera, which is always great in this map. You can trank the hotel staff that the exterminator is talking to, and then you can KO the exterminator at your own leisure. Just make sure you don't get caught by the guys walking around upstairs, as you are quite exposed at this point. Drag this exterminator into the closet by the linen room stairs, and you're free to go. The second exterminator outfit is right by the tuk-tuk. He's much easier to get, so I'd recommend going for him instead, as all you need to do is bring a tranquilizer, cause a throwing distraction in this little alleyway right here. As long as he's the closest NPC to you when you do the throwing distraction, he'll be the one to investigate. Take him out with a trank, grab his disguise, and you're free to go. For groundskeeper, there are 2 NPCs on the map that I can recommend. There are a couple of groundskeepers just chatting on the top of the roof that divides the 2 hotels. A strat that I like to use is I panic both the groundskeepers and then I trank whichever one happens to be the most convenient for me to get. And you can just take the disguise as long as you're hidden from sight and get the hell out of there. I'd recommend this particular groundskeeper if the spin requires you to be in the groundskeeper disguise for the Jordan kill. There's another groundskeeper down below 47 Suite at the very bottom where the garden is, and he doesn't require any resources to get. All you need to do here is head down these stairs, shoot out this camera so that causes a distraction for the hotel security, and then throw a distraction as long as the groundskeeper guy is close by. He'll come investigate the throwing distraction. You can chain lure him a little further down the stairs so as just to be safe. Knock him out, take his disguise, and you can leave his body here as you don't need to worry. No one's going to find him here. Hotel security is another guard disguise. So again, like all other guard disguises, you pretty much have your pick of the litter. But there are 3 very easy ones to get that I will recommend here. The first one is if you start 47th Suite, you can just take your briefcase and throw it against the wall right here in the very corner of the room. One of the hotel security guys will come into the room and investigate the distraction. You can take him out and away you go. The next one is the one down below where the hotel staff and the exterminator are having a conversation. Cause a distraction so that he's preoccupied, come up behind him and KO him, and then drag him into the closet that's nearby in the other room. And the final one is directly below the stairs that lead to the linen room. Throw a distraction over here. One of the hotel security around the corner is going to come investigate, and then you can do a corner subdue, take him out, and bring him into the closet that's upstairs. Very easy disguise to get, and one of the better disguises on the map. Keep in mind that you can always start hotel security, and it's always a very viable strat to do so, especially if you need to get exterminator at the very beginning, as you start in the tuk-tuk area, and you can do an immediate throw distraction as soon as the exterminator nearby comes near, and get the exterminator outfit within the first few seconds of the map. For the hotel staff, there are multiple hotel staffs that are very viable to get on the map. However, the easiest one, and probably the most common one that you're going to go for, just because it's the easiest for the Ken Morgan lure into the bathroom, is the hotel staff that's right in front of the bathroom. You're just going to need to worry about the other NPCs that might be in your way. Once you clear out the other NPCs, example the waiter that's right behind the hotel staff directly in front of the bathrooms, if you take him out first, then go for the hotel staff by doing a throw distraction at the wall here, you are good to go. Take him out, grab his outfit, away you go. Jordan Cross's Bodyguard, despite being another guard outfit, is pretty limited actually. There aren't too many very viable ones to get on the map. The one that I suggest for sure to get are the 2 that are hanging out in this room right here where the letter opener is. You can lure one with a peekaboo if you're in a trespassing disguise when you enter this room, or you can do a throwing distraction and then take them both out and then grab one of the disguises and get out. These are by far the easiest ones to get, so I'd recommend going for these guys in this room before any other guards on the map. Some of them can be a real pain in the ass. For the kitchen staff, there's always the aforementioned one that goes into the bathroom. However, he's on a cycle, so if he's not in the bathroom at the time that you need him, the easiest one to get would be go into the kitchen and go into the side room that's just past the kitchen here. Do a throwing distraction, and one of the kitchen staff will come in the room, knock him out, throw him in the closet right here, and that's that. Definitely the easiest one to get on the map for sure. There's also a free kitchen staff disguise downstairs in the basement. That's a very viable disguise to get in case you lured Ken Morgan downstairs with a letter lure, and then you need to kill him in the kitchen staff disguise. It's free to go, right there, ready for you to take it. Morgan's Bodyguard is kind of tricky. Anytime you lure Ken anywhere, we'll give you an opportunity to take Otis's disguise. If you do the hotel staff lure, for example, once you've lured Ken into the bathroom, you can knock out Otis, switch disguises, then knock out or kill Ken, and away you go. Alternatively, if you do the letter lure for Ken, you can definitely do a throwing distraction for Otis over here. After you open these doors, he's going to come and investigate, and then you can take him out and stuff him in the closet and take his outfit. Recording crew is pretty easy. You can either start as recording crew, which is one of the most viable starting spots in the map, or if you want to go upstairs right by the vocal booth, you can lure these guys that are talking to each other with the throwing distraction as if you were going to do the Jordan Cross lure from earlier shown, except make sure Jordan Cross isn't in the vocal booth this time, otherwise he'll be lured into the room. Lure one of the guys in here, knock him out, and away you go. Otherwise, there's a recording crew downstairs where you get the letter from the guy named Neil. This guy's isolated in this room all by himself. You can knock him out, drag him into the corner right by where the balcony is, take his outfit, and he should never be found here, so you should be fine. Just make sure you don't cause a panic and bring anybody else in the room or he will be found. The stalker is an interesting disguise, and much like the prisoner in Marrakesh, this disguise is only permitted for trap kills. So keep in mind that if you have the stalker disguise and anything that requires an up-close and personal kill for a target, that's an illegal kill and an illegal spin. You can't go through with it. It's a completely hostile disguise throughout the entire hotel, so it's just as bad as the prisoner in Marrakesh from what I explained in that previous video. But all it is instead of going down below where Abel De Silva is from the 47th suite start, you go up the pipe and you traverse this area here. Then you climb these stairs and see this completely desolate room. No one's in here except for the stalker looking out the window. You can knock him out and take his disguise at any point, and no one's ever going to find him up here, so this is a very easy one to get. And finally, the waiter disguise. The easiest waiter to get, I'd say, on the whole map is, well, unless you want to start as waiter, which is a great starting spot as well. You can grab the one that's right in front of the bathroom, though, right behind where that hotel staff is that I mentioned earlier. Take him out with a throwing distraction in the room, stuff him in the closet where the kitchen staff goes to take a piss, and take his outfit and you're free. There's also a free waiter disguise that's downstairs in the basement, but it's often too far away to worry about it. Alright, and that covers all the disguises. As I said previously, there aren't too many disguises to worry about in this map, but it's actually kind of fortunate that there aren't because you have so many other things to worry about as far as this map is concerned. So many other options, so many other things to do. So having twice as many disguises as we have right now would just make things a little bit too nuts. This map is already tricky enough as it is, so it's good that they're as limited as they are. But I do really appreciate that each disguise is fairly unique in how you would go about getting them, unlike Marrakesh, where there's multiple disguises in the map that require the same method in order to obtain them. Now it's time to head into the demonstration spin. I'm excited for this. We'll see what we get, and let's do it. Alright, so for this spin we got something pretty interesting going on. We've got Jordan Cross must be killed with electrocution as Abel De Silva, and Ken Morgan as a groundskeeper must be killed via drowning. Nice. The drowning kill on Ken can be pretty finicky, so this is going to be pretty interesting to see what happens here. I'm opting to start 47th Suite. I'm going to go with a pistol, a remote micro taser, emetic pills for Ken, and Seeker. So let's see what happens here. Alright, so starting 47th Suite, like I said, I grab the pills here and I'm taking out my Seeker. I'm grabbing this letter opener because it's the most important thing in the whole friggin' map. Just kidding, I'm not using it at all for anything. Initially it was going to be used as like a throwing distraction just in case the peekaboo for Abel here doesn't work. But it's whatever. So this little bitch is about to troll me here. He's a bit of a pain in the dick. Sometimes he'll do this. If you peekaboo him, and sometimes you want him to go through the doors there, but he instead opts to go on the balcony here because he's being a bitch. So whatever. So I did the throwing distraction a little too early there. Big friggin' deal. It's all good. So I did the second peekaboo lure here. Now he's not trolling me anymore. That's great. Did a quarter subdue. And there's Abel De Silva. Pretty damn easy disguise to get right off the bat within the first minute, even if he is trolling you. So that's pretty sick. And now I'm opting to start up my Ken Morgan drowning kill. So this is the most tricky kill in the map, I'd say, just because of how Ken behaves. If you were to emetic his food on his first cycle, for example, he usually eats in the very middle plate on his first cycle, but on his second cycle, he eats on the plate to its right, the fourth plate from the right. So I'm poisoning the fourth plate on the right, and I'm going to hopefully have everything done with Jordan and be downstairs again in a groundskeeper outfit by the time Ken gets fed and gets sick and gets into the bathroom and starts puking. Fortunately for me, Abel De Silva is one of the better disguises in the map, and you could pretty much traverse the entire map at your own leisure, aside from, I think, the basement, although I might be wrong about that. There's pretty much, you pretty much got your free roam of the whole map of this outfit. It's pretty sweet. Just don't go up to Jordan and don't trigger him. Otherwise, you'll ruin his cycle. He'll want to go back downstairs into the recording studio. So don't get too close to him in this outfit. I missed the first secret shot because I suck ass at this game. And we get Jordan with the second secret shot. So this is great. We're going to do the isolation method that I talked about earlier in the video with getting him sick. Which is really what we have to do anyways, because we got to get him for an electrocution kill. So I'm turning on the sync. You can just let this one run. No one's going to come in and inspect it because it's in Jordan's room. No one hears the sync. Knock his ass out and drag him over here to the puddle. Now I could kill him at any point because it's a trap kill, but I'm already in the outfit I need. So there we go.
Up, Ken Morgan.
And Jordan's a toast little bitch. So by now, Ken's going to be on the phone talking to whomever he's talking to in the phone in that corner there right by the balcony. So he's almost on his way to start eating, which is good because I still need to get me a groundskeeper outfit. We're going to go get the one, I think, downstairs right underneath 47th Suite in the garden area. He seems to be the one that I feel is the best to go for if you're going to go for Ken Morgan as a groundskeeper. But in the meantime, I did get spotted by the cameras, so I have no choice but to take the cameras out. I'm kind of happy about this, though, because I get to showcase everything in real time of how exactly to go through all the steps for these disguises and how to take out the cameras and all that stuff as the spin is taking place. So that's kind of nice. You know, normally I get pissed when I get spotted by the cameras, but not this time. Just for the sake of the video. So, Ken's on his way to eat pretty quick here, like I said. He's done his phone call by now. And I'm going to head out and grab this groundskeeper outside this window here. Watch out, because that waiter there for some reason is an enforcer for Abel De Silva. I don't know why that is, but whatever. So I was going to shoot that camera out, but I already took the cameras out because I'm freaking awesome at this game. Just kidding. And here's the throwing distraction I was talking about. Chain lure him down here with the coin. That way, you know, in case some bullshit happens, if you hit him, if you kick his ass on the stairs a little too high up, his body might be found. So the further down he goes, the better. But no one's going to see him when he's down that far. So you're good to go. Very easy disguise, like I explained earlier in the video. So now Ken is still not fucking eating yet, so it's being a slow bitch. In the meantime, I'm thinking I'm just going to take out this waiter prick. The problem with this kill is you don't want to take out certain NPCs because Ken will sometimes go and puke in the kitchen. For some reason, there's a connection between certain NPCs getting KO'd in the bathroom here and him eating or getting sick on his second cycle and going off and puking in the bathroom compared to puking in the kitchen. It's really frustrating. But I took out just the waiter and the kitchen staff, which is fine. The NPC that seems to affect Ken coming into the bathroom or not the most is the NPC this curly-haired prick that you'll see in a second. He goes into the bathroom on the left and he takes a piss. If you take him out, it's almost never that Ken goes into the bathroom and pukes. He almost always goes into the kitchen to puke. It's freaking so weird. I don't really understand why that works, but that NPC seems to be linked to Ken for some reason. I did so much testing on this, and that's the conclusion I came to. So beats the shit out of me, but whatever.
Both targets down.
Anyways, we got Ken done. Thankfully, that wasn't a huge pain in the dick. But there's Otis's body being dragged into the other bathroom that no one goes in now because the kitchen staff is KO'd. And this freaking guy right here is the piss dude I was talking about. So you don't want to KO him if you're trying to get Ken drowned on his second cycle by getting him in the bathroom there. He's the guy that seems to be linked to Ken. I have no idea what it is. But for some reason, if he gets KO'd, Ken will not puke in the bathroom. Beats the fuck out of me. Anyways, pretty quick-ass spin, sub 7, not bad for Bangkok. This map can be pretty long, but yeah, away we go. Silent Assassin, green guns, 5 stars. Would have been great for tournament. I couldn't have done it better myself. And that does it for this episode. Right on, man. Bangkok is such a blast. I have so much fun playing this map for roulettes. So I really recommend, if you're not into this map very much and it's intimidating as hell at the moment and you just don't know where to begin, or you're just not really a big fan of it but you know how to do it, try investing a little bit more time in the map. Like in my case, I did not like Bangkok for roulettes as of like a month ago from the making of this video. Now, as I said, it's my favorite 2-target map. That's saying a lot because there's a lot of really great 2-target maps in this trilogy, but Bangkok just provides that extra bit of challenge that you don't really see with the other 2-target maps. I'm a big fan of challenges in a video game, especially a game like Hitman, so the harder the better, and Bangkok is as tricky as it gets. So if you like a challenge, I think you're going to have a blast with Bangkok. I hope the video helped you out. I hope everybody learned something, and next time we're going to be going over Colorado, which is the first of the big 5 maps that we're going to have to talk about in this trilogy. So, really looking forward to that one, and I will see you next time. Till then, keep rocking out and keep gaming.